There's a siren going off outside, and I don't know why. Do you hear it? It'll just be my background music. It's fine. It's not like I'm gonna die or anything, just a tornado siren going off with no explanation, but I'm in my room, so it should be fine, right? I'm just gonna pretend that doesn't exist. I'm not gonna die, it's fine. No tornado's gonna hit me. I'm gonna see if my roommates have responded. Are we gonna die? Okay. No one hears it. What? Literally not that far across campus. She's like, what are you talking about? Today, I'm talking about giants. Have you heard the saying that people do, which is, we stand on the shoulders of giants, right? That means, like, currently I'm recording on a computer, and that computer wouldn't exist, recording wouldn't exist if we hadn't had people in the past who got us to where we are now. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Every time I cross over a railroad track, I put my feet up and I say, thank you, universe, for the giants. It's actually probably the ritual that I do the most often in my life, is thanking the universe for giants, those who come before me. And it is one that never fails to get me like, whoa, right? Because I said we want to have a computer. If it weren't for the giants, I wouldn't have rights. If it weren't for the giants, if it wasn't for the people who came before us, who paved the way towards equality, I wouldn't have rights. My cousin wouldn't exist because biracial marriages wouldn't exist. And every time I start thinking about this, I just get like, holy cow. Because, right, I think that a lot of times in our perspective of the world, it's very easy to see everything that's screwed up, because there's a lot screwed up. There's a lot that's screwed up today in 2020 still. However, I think that we should never take for granted how far we've come as a society, as a planet. There's the cultural myth of the good old days, and I was thinking about that today. Yesterday had some pretty good pieces that are better than today, but tomorrow's going to have even better pieces. I'm going to use a really stupid example. The band My Chemical Romance broke up. So the good old days is when My Chemical Romance existed. The good old days, do you hear that siren? It just keeps getting louder. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die recording a YouTube video. The good old days are when Mr. Rogers was still alive. The good old days, the things that are good in the past, there are things that were good in the past that were better than they are today. However, tomorrow is going to be better. That's what I believe, at least. We look at just the progress that we've made. And sure, we've had some setbacks, but as a human race, we're on the right path, I think. Like, grand speaking, I think a lot of people care about what's going on, and people want it to be better. And so I thank the giants, because without them, I couldn't wear pants. Without the giants, I would probably have died in childbirth by this age. Without the giants, I don't know, a lot would be different. All the things that I love about my life would not exist if it weren't for the giants that came before me. And so I think about that a lot. I think about the giants, and I thank history, and I thank the world for the giants, because I don't want to know where we would be without them. And even in my own personal life, like in my life, there are giants that I have known who have brought me to the point that I am currently. My theater teacher in high school, my aunt, my grandma, like people who poured into me so that I became the person I am today. Those are giants. anyone who's important to how we are today, right now, I think is a giant. Recently, I've been getting very emotional about the concept of ancestors, particularly my Native American ancestors. They got genocided. But I'm here. Like, my ancestors watched as 80% of their population was killed by disease. As these new people, these foreigners came in and stole their land and lied, and we were just terrible to them. My ancestors lived through that. My ancestors lived through so much. Like, the fact that I exist today is utterly a miracle. I'm like having like a physical reaction to talking about this. Like, when I talk about my ancestors, it genuinely has such an effect because oh, I don't even know where to begin. Like, for a long time, I have not liked myself, right? And then I started really thinking about ancestry and the fact that, I have great 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 grandmothers, right? Who were native to America, and the amount of pain that they went through, and yet they live on through me. Their genetic code has lived on and is a part of me now. And that's so beautiful. Like, how can I hate myself when my ancestors fought so hard for me to exist? How can I hate the way I look when the way that I look is because of the people before me? Sometimes when I look in the mirror, I can see my ancestors almost. Like, that sounds like I'm a crazy person. I can see the Native American features in me. I can see the German features. I can see the British features. I can see my grandmother's features. I can see my grand aunt's features. I can see my sister's features. The women around me are beautiful. My grandmother was beautiful, and so I am beautiful. I can't think my sister and my grandmother, and my grand aunt, I can't think that they're beautiful and not think I'm beautiful because our faces are just so similar. We're blood, we're family, And that's just for me. That's just my experience in the world. I'm going to be a foster mom someday. I don't want to dismiss the feelings of people who don't know their ancestry or their familial ties, but for me, that's just been a big thing for me, realizing what I come from, the giants, the ancestors, because the giants, even if you don't know anything about who you come from, if you don't know your parents or anything and you don't know where you come from, people still throughout history have come together and made it so that it was possible for you to live. That's not even like a cultural thing. I'm not even talking about the fact that maybe your grandma survived and was able to have childbirth because of modern medicine. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that, like, the cavemen who are dying at alarming rates were able to have children, and because they had children who had children that went down the line, we exist. Everything that we have today, ring lights, sirens, movies, cameras, YouTube, it all exists because of the people who came before us. And that's so beautiful to me. And so every time I cross over a railroad track, and obviously if I'm driving, I'm not going to like lift my feet up, but every time I go over a railroad track, I think about that, right? Everything we have today, no man is an island, right? Like, nobody is self-made. I'm sorry if that offends you, because I feel like a self-made person, like I've achieved, I've ascended, but I couldn't do that if women didn't have rights. You know, I couldn't do that if any of the decisions that I've made to get to where I am today, if the groundwork hadn't been laid however many years ago for me to make those decisions, for me to be at college, everything in my life would not be the way it was if amazing people or cruel people hadn't come before me and set down the groundwork. So I thank the Giants. I thank the universe for the Giants, because that's a really amazing thing. And so, all that said now, if you like this video, I'm going to try to keep making content like this, talking about things that are important and real to me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to post like a grander thing like this every Sunday, so, you know, talking about big ideas, grand things. I have a whole list. It's way across the room. One second. I genuinely made a whole list of things that I want to make videos about. So I'm going to do those probably every Sunday unless I'm feeling really inspired a special week. And I'll do it more than once. But then, during the week, maybe I'll do what I did last week, which is just upload because I feel like it. Cool. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a wonderful, fantastic day. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe. We'll see you next week. Or something. Great. Ah! My green screen's scaring the crap out of me because the gaff tape isn't working. Ah! Freaking green screen. It's breaking all my emotional moments. This isn't what I was going to show you, but he just happened to be what I grabbed. This is Gerard. Isn't he amazing? He's very judgmental. He somehow is always looking at my roommate. She's like, why is Gerard judging me? I'm like, I don't know, he just is, okay? He's a demon. He's always judging her. Like, I can literally turn her to that roommate and he's still, like, over there by the end of the night. He's kind of creepy. Look at him. He's like a villain that... He's like a villain that ties people to railroads, and this entire thing's about railroads. Okay, bye.